Hello and welcome back to the Copper Link. Today's video will be a little different. I'll be looking at the history of AGameOfThrones.com, which was Fantasy Flight Games' original website for A Game of Thrones when the game was released in 2002. To do this, I have dug up the site on the Internet Archive, and as you can see, it hasn't been perfectly preserved, at least not on these initial pages. But let's start looking at some of the features. First of all, you have the opening page, where the latest news about the game was posted. On this particular page, you can see that they had just announced Ghost, the first promo card for the game. Incidentally, there were some problems with the print run of that card, so it has always been very rare. On the left we can see the other contents of the site. First off is the card of the week, where the game's original designer, Eric Lang, wrote an article about the card and the game in general. On this particular page we find an article about Sorrowful Man. In the support section, you could find things like the latest FAQ, or rules documents, or even complete spoiler lists for each release. Some of these documents are actually still here and can be downloaded, like the first ever printed rules of the game, and the first ever printed tournament rules. If anyone is interested in them, I have previously posted both of these documents on the 2nd edition Facebook group. Another big feature of the site were the message boards, which changed formats several times throughout the first years. Here we have the second version of the forums. Other than the general discussion and rules discussion, you also had that trade forum, since that was a big part of the CCG. There were also a specific spoiler space where people could discuss the books freely. Moving forward a couple of years, the site got a redesign that the Internet Archive actually managed to save properly. Gold Dragon Redemption was a promotion where you could send in gold dragons to receive promo cards, Stonehouse cards, or other kinds of promotional material. Gold dragons could be cut out from every booster you bought, or they could be won as prize support in monthly tournaments, for example. There was also a tourney program where every tournament was registered on the site, and later the results were entered, which formed the basis for a worldwide player ranking. Looking at the rankings for the first year of the game, we find a familiar name in Nate French, who we now know as the lead designer of A Game of Thrones 2nd edition. This is what the page looked like for several years, without much changing. But then the game started to change. The CCG model was abandoned and the game started moving over to the new LCG model, and the site got a new redesign. The contents remained mostly the same, however. This site lasted roughly a year before the URL was abandoned and FFG started using their own website URL to host the game's content. After that, all that was left of GameOfThrones.com was a redirect to the new pages, so this is where this history lesson ends. Until the next time, this is the Copper Link.